So is Craig working?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just didn't want to interrupt your talking of stockings.
Our business talk.
Talking Stockings. Is that the episode title?
I would say yes, but I know, but Funhouses already have a episode that's actually called Talking Stockings, so I don't think we can.
What dicks?
I think that's the episode where Bruce went on a rampage with the sledgehammer and tore down the entire set. They were all very drunk. That was a good episode.
What a bunch of gaping dickholes.
Well, Dave, you brought us here on this Sunday evening.
I suppose I did.
On this night of my son's anger.
I suppose we should talk about video games then, huh?
Video games.
Well, any Smash news to prattle on about for an hour and a half?
I don't think so.
The arms thing. Have we talked about that?
We already talked.
Was it the last time? Yeah, okay. I forgot already.
All right then. Good talk. Podcast over. Good episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
See everybody later.
Later.
Uh-oh. 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 Uh-oh.
Well, let us talk about leaks. Leaks and you.
Ugh.
Oh boy.
Since that's the hot boy right now, and
well, apparently,
will be
I didn't look too much into it because the first thing I saw about the subject was, I guess, Yong Yeah is posting a video about how apparently Naughty Dog is like filing claims on like people just talking about nothing but the leak. So
yeah, they've been doing copyright takedowns and whatnot, but that's about all they can do.
Yeah,
and
so
they've only been doing it on YouTube, but it's the internet. Good luck.
Well, like they've been filing strikes against the leaks themselves, but like I guess they're also doing it against people who are talking about the leaks and nothing but the leaks.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, and we're not monetized anyway, so we don't care.
Nope, I don't care.
Fun. Go ahead, advertise your game on our. We don't give a shit. So, The Last of Us 2.
Yong, yeah, I gotta hate him. Yong, I read Reddit comments, yeah.
Like, okay, I'll admit I watch his videos. I'm subscribed to his channel, but only because I'm too lazy to like actually track down the articles and read them myself. I can just throw him on in the background and just listen to him as he reads the entire article for me, because that's all he does.
But that's what Inside Gaming is for as well. They do the same thing. It's just with 4 people at the same time instead of 1 guy.
Yeah, I might take that one instead then. Because he is pretty fucking bad to listen to. It's just monotone, and that's all he does. So I don't watch him for him. I watch him because I'm lazy.
Fair enough.
But yeah, if I can listen to 4 people rant about it and do the exact same thing, that might at least be a little bit more entertaining.
To a point, I will criticize Inside Gaming is that they can ramble on about really inane stuff for a couple minutes.
Well, it sounds like me.
I mean, it's no different.
Okay, so basically, if Yong will beat a dead horse for about 2 minutes, then Inside Gaming will beat a dead horse for about 2 minutes, but they do it with 4 people, 3 or 4 people now. I know how many people get
slightly more personality.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's a win. That's a win in my book.
So we won't discuss spoilers here because I don't know if either you or Andy watched any of it, but I watched some of it, and obviously we are 4chan perusers, so it's impossible to stay away from them.
I mean, okay, I'll let you go ahead first.
Well, no, I've seen the cliff notes of the spoilers. I can't say I really care. I didn't really plan on playing this game anyways.
I mean, I didn't really. Well, no, I'll correct that a little bit. I didn't have any plans on like going out day one purchasing this, but that was even before the leaks and all that, and it was largely because, you know, as they were advertising this, you know, showing new trailers and stuff. Well, one, I honestly didn't really think it needed a sequel. I knew it was getting one, but I didn't think it needed one. And for two, what was pissing me off is all of the trailers they would show, they would tell you nothing about what the plot was. It was all just these, you know, cryptic scenes of, oh, Ellie dancing and making out with a girl. Oh, there's some group of people in the woods kidnapping people and stringing them up and beating them. Also, they're not showing any of the fungus zombies, which, I mean, you know, everybody knows those are there, so it's not like they're exciting anymore, but it's still primarily a game set in a zombie world, so if we're going to be playing another game set in this world, I don't know, I would at least like to know that the fucking fungus zombies are still there and they're going to be an obstacle.
It's not important. They gotta shove in all this like pointless character shit we don't really care about. Well, I'm sure people do.
I mean,
don't.
There are. I mean, that's, for me, from what I've seen, I canceled my pre-order and I'm just going to wait for the game to be on sale. But I don't want to take away anyone's excitement of who's actually going to be ready to play this game day one. Just what I've seen. You know, I'm a guy who I don't care if I get spoiled on something. Like, if you told me, you know, the spoilers to Endgame, Avengers Endgame, I really wouldn't have cared because I want to see it all happen to me, and it's all, you know, you can tell me the ending, I'd be like,
and I would have been pretty pissed about that, though.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on what it is if I give a shit about spoilers or not.
It's a case by case kind of thing. And I guess Last of Us is very story heavy, so spoilers do kind of ruin a lot if you do care about that.
For me, it's about the journey. Like, how do we get to that spoiler? What brings me there?
True, that's very true.
Well, like,
the game is a little different because you're playing it. A movie is you're just watching, so I feel like spoilers are a little worse for that.
Well, like, and the thing with The Last of Us, it's a zombie game, and, you know, with how saturated the media market is with zombie shit, you have to have something that sets it apart. And it's kind of come to the point where, like, this in and of itself is oversaturating the market. But with zombie shit, their way of differentiating it has become, you know, setting up the characters and having a strong plot, and the zombies are just, you know, in the background. They're not the focus, they're just there.
Like, that's zombie movies and everything, yeah.
I mean, like, we got fucking Walking Dead and shit. So, yeah, to that point, I can see why spoilers would matter. I was not heavily invested in The Last of Us. Like, I thought it was a good time. I enjoyed it. The ending was pretty good. But then I was like, I don't care that much about a sequel. And I mean, if one came out, which we all knew it would at some point anyway, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'd probably play it just to see what it was about. But I wasn't invested enough in it to care that much about spoilers. So, you know, when spoilers started coming out, I kind of jumped on them, not because I really, really, really wanted to know. It was more just, I wanted to know what the fucking plot was even going to be. because none of the trailers would say anything, and when the big hook here is supposed to be, oh, where's this story going next, you're not even giving us a preface for it. You're not giving us a setup. So I have no reason to care. So yeah, when they came out, I read them, and it sounds like shit. Not even strictly because of what the plot ends up being. Now, I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna mark spoiler right here because I have to actually say it in order to reference what I mean.
Big fat spoiler warning right here. Yeah, so I guess, you know what, probably for your sanity, if you're interested in this, let's just say you should probably not listen to the rest of this podcast. Go away.
We're not. No.
Go away.
Yeah. We'll timestamp it in the description, but
unless for some reason you have this on the background, not watching the YouTube video, then you're SOL. Good luck.
Well, we're telling them about it now so they can check. Anyway, marking spoiler right here. So, my complaint isn't even anything to do with my SJWs, my lesbians, the whole playing as Abby thing. I don't care. Like, that's fine to me. If you want to do it, go right ahead. And if it's done well, I probably wouldn't even be upset about it. The thing that really turns me off about those spoilers, and from what I'm hearing, this part is 100% confirmed. So the whole shit with, you play as Abby for like half the game or more, and then you kill Ellie and Joel. Like, you kill Joel early on in that segment, and then you kill Ellie at the end of that. And, their big hook is, oh, we want fans to question everything. And, on its surface, that makes sense right there, because, oh, now you're playing as Abby. She was the daughter of that surgeon you killed at the end of the first game. And, okay, now you're getting a new perspective on everything because, you play a game from the perspective of one character and you are conditioned to think, okay, well, this is our protagonist, this is our good guy, but this is a world where there are no good guys. So, good is subjective based on where you sit. So, you upend Abby's entire life by killing her father. She's pissed. She wants revenge. Okay, she kills Joel and Ellie. That makes you question some things, because it's like, who was really in the right here? That's fine. I have no problems with that. The part I have a problem with is that apparently after that whole segment, it cuts back to Ellie and her girlfriend, and they're both still alive. And it's like that whole segment playing as Abby never happened. Okay, yeah, that makes me question everything, but not the moral conundrum you guys were probably hoping I was going to. Now I'm just questioning what the fuck was the point of that. Like, tell a story and stick to it. Don't just make some weird alternate reality and then make it all mean nothing.
Yeah.
Like, that's just... And then I guess they're... Like, the implication there is that the next game would be Ellie is now the villain, because she's still gonna go out for revenge. Like, I guess Joel still dies or something, but she's still gonna go out for revenge.
Of course, Joel.
And then the next game would be you playing as Abby, which, if any of that is true, then again, what the fuck was the point? Because now you're just gonna be retreading that same thing for an entire another fucking game. So I think that's retarded.
This is why I agree that I'm like, we really didn't need a second game. I felt like everything was fine after the first one.
I will say, admittedly, I did want to know. Like, I didn't need to know, but I did want to know what the fallout was going to be, because eventually Ellie would figure out that Joel was bullshitting her at the end.
Oh, she knew. She knew he was bullshitting them.
I don't think she knew at the very end of the first game, but like you could tell she was just kind of like, eh. But I did want to know, what the fallout was going to be, but I didn't need to know that badly. Like, part of that was kind of a intentional.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a mystery. It's up to your interpretation.
Yeah.
What do you think's gonna happen?
It's open-ended. It's fine.
But I mean, we all knew it would get a sequel because hey, AAA games.
Yep.
But that's kind of what I have to say about that. The plot itself, I don't even think that's that bad. I just think the whole it didn't actually happen part is stupid and just completely undermines it.
I don't hate it all either, but whatever, the SJW, whatever. I just don't really think it sounds that good, or even good enough for me to really care. And it's not like I hate it or anything. I just don't want to play it.
I probably won't play it at this point, just because I think just the fact that it didn't happen completely undermines it, makes it pointless. So why do I even need to know that piece of the story?
I'll play it on YouTube.
And now I already know the story anyway, so whatever. I didn't need it that badly to begin with. So, spoilers end, I guess. That's my 2 cents. Nothing to do with SJWs, just a really dumb decision.
So, I guess, still on the leak, but now that we're spoiler-free, what do you think about the rumored intentions of the cause of the leak, about a disgruntled either contractor or employee who just wasn't getting paid?
I saw, pretty much minutes before we started recording this, I actually did see some report that Naughty Dog is confirming, air quotes there, that it was not an inside job. They were hacked. I don't know how true this is.
I doubt
because
that.
It could just be them bullshitting to be like, nope, we're a great place to work. But either way, that's apparently their story, as of what I saw just moments before we started recording this.
I don't buy the hacking thing. Someone leaked it. I mean, there's the whatever it is, all the debug information, and I'm assuming what would be some serial numbers for that particular copy and build versions. So,
well,
I don't know. I mean, I guess it could have been pulled from the servers or whatever, but
you would have to see something going on there. I would think they would have some sort of monitors on where they store their files.
I just don't know why they would want to hack them and do that anyways.
I can, given today's current social climate, I can entirely see, because, them rabid gamer gators.
I suppose. It just seems like you could do something better if you could hack them than just going, I'm going to leak the story.
Yeah, I suppose if they... Well, I don't know. Hacking has a lot of different aspects to it, and some aspects are harder than others. Like, actually going in and being destructive is going to be a lot harder than just going in and getting read access to things you shouldn't.
Here's what happened. Straight from the horse's mouth. Pretend it is. Assume it is. The hacker, quote unquote, sent an email to Naughty Dog.
Oh, they get fished?
So they get fished. And they're like, yo, this is Neil Druckmann. I need the latest build because I need to talk about it on the Twitter or whatever. Gib, or I report you. So then the hapless person's all like,
supervisor.
the hapless person's all like, oh no, I don't want to be reported. Here is the zip file containing the entire build. Here's how to compile it and run it. Have fun, Mr. Druckmann, sir. And that's how it happened.
So, if this is true, you are now admitting that at least one of your employees is a complete fucking retard who you did not properly screen and train to not fall for phishing scams? I don't know if that's much better than we abuse our employees with crunch times.
See, they would never come out and say, like, we have an idiot employee who just leaked the entire game on accident.
But that's what it means. That's what everyone's going to infer from that.
Try to avoid that wording to make it not sound like that.
They'll make it sound like...
But that's what everyone's going to infer.
You know that gif of that hacker who's got 3 keyboards, 6 monitors, and he's going nuts on it, and then the banana comes in and starts typing as well? That's how they're going to explain how the hack actually happened.
Yep. True life reenactment. Oh boy. Yeah, it ain't looking good for Naughty Dog.
Nope.
Well, no. It's probably looking fine.
They'll be fine.
This game's still gonna sell. Yeah, it's still gonna sell millions because, well, while a lot of people from 4chan know everything about it, and some from Reddit, though I would imagine Reddit's probably cracking down on the leaks, but mostly 4chan.
Well, anyone who doesn't
4chan's
easily avoid the spoilers.
Yeah, like, here's the thing. The people who are eating this up are pretty much 4chaners almost exclusively, and 4chan is a pretty small subset of
Organic
the
2.0, baby.
gaming population. So, will this be well received by fans of The Last of Us? Like, rabid fans are going to love it no matter what. But, like, people who just really, really liked the first game and they held off on spoilers and they picked this up, is this going to be well received by them? I honestly don't know, but it is still going to sell just fine, because at the end of the day, that's what matters. You can't stop sales. And the people who know what's going to happen and are canceling their pre-orders because of the leaks, they're still in the minority here. Most people are still just like, oh, spoilers, I don't want to get spoiled, so I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to look at it. I'm just going to get it anyway.
I'm fully aware that, me canceling my pre-order doesn't do anything in the long run, but it's more like, okay, I guess I saved myself. Because as I pre-ordered the special edition, so I'm like, okay, I saved myself $80 or whatever it was, and I'll get it when it's on sale, probably.
Yeah.
If I were to have picked this up on day one, I don't think I would have gotten anything more than the basic bitch edition, but I never even pre-ordered it, so...
We didn't want to get the Sweet Ellie edition, which... What does this come with? Last of Us Part 2.
Unless it comes with a handkerchief stained with Ellen Page's salty tears over the first game, I'm not interested.
It comes with a statue of her. How about that?
Has Ellen Page cried on it?
Let's see. It does not say.
Angry, salty tears cried on that statue. If not, I don't care. Nah, I got nothing against Ellen Page. I just think that whole thing was funny.
This character looks exactly like me.
I just think that was really funny.
I'm suing you. I'm Ellen Page. Oh. I assume that's what she sounds like.
This game's still gonna sell just fine, and I think a lot of that has to do with even if people hate it, it's still going to sell just fine because, well, renting isn't really much a thing anymore, so there aren't going to be a lot of people with the ability to rent it and try it and see if they like it or hate it. Like, nowadays it is pretty much just you buy it or you pirate it, and most people are like, I don't even know how easy it is to pirate PS4 games these days.
I'm sorry, I just pulled a... Hold on, I'm gonna post something in the Discord here if I can do this.
Uh-oh. What do we...
We'll see if this works. I don't know if Discord can handle webums. Where am I going to put it? Let's just put it in the general chat. Shoot. I should probably put this in somewhere that, in case people do actually give a shit and don't want me spoiled.
Let's just put it in the podcast one.
I gotta make sure that permissions are set up. 1 second. I'm being courteous. I don't want to ruin this for anyone in case yada yada yada.
Well, while you dick around with that, I'm going to finish my thought. Is that people can't really rent shit anymore, so it's not like anyone can try. And nowadays, people push FOMO real fucking hard. So, again, that's going to drive day one sales pretty hard. So, even if people end up hating this, no one's even going to find out until after it's been out for like a week. But by then, the damage is already done, so to speak. Those sales are already made. So it's gonna do fine whether it sucks or not.
Yep, I mean, since AAA titles are just gonna sell well anyways.
And not everyone.
Nothing we can do to stop it, and frankly, I don't care.
Even shitty games tend to sell well anyways, as long as they're like big name games.
Yeah, no skin off my back. If I don't care, I just won't buy it. Done. Boom, problem solved.
No, I hate it. It affects me. It makes me angry that these games sell well. Oh, I'm so mad.
Okay, I think you guys should still be able to see the podcast channel, but now everyone else should be locked out of it. Let's see now if I can post it. That's the kicker. Can I post this? Where the hell do you upload shit? Oh, here it is.
You just
There's a
paste the link?
I don't know how. I'm just gonna post the whole thing. We'll see what happens.
Roger trying to figure out technology mid-podcast.
Marcus, I'll just do this too. It's the best time to figure it out. There, I posted in the podcast channel. See if you guys can see it.
Oh, God damn it.
Oh, no, it's good. It's good.
Oh. New golf.
Oh, God. Bless these leaks. They're good for the memes.
Just make that last shot the zero context to it. Just make that last shot the episode thumbnail.
Do I want to risk Naughty Dog getting on my ass about that? God, I would love to, but I do fear the Naughty Dog going to pop a YouTube and be like, "Hey, this no name channel with 0 views, get him."
Yeah, that will get us.
Get him.
It will create controversy. Then people will be like, "Man, what are these guys doing? That's getting Naughty Dog all fucking mad. We got to listen to this podcast."
Exactly, it's a win-win.
Yeah, that's how everything works, right?
Could blur out his face.
We'll just win in infamy.
Oh, fucking! When you said that phrase "question everything," Dave, that fucking reminded me of the Mass Effect 3 ending where they found whatever the developer notes or whatever, and one of the things in the corner said they will question everything or something at the ending.
Yeah, question life and why you bothered with any of this shit.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring up that.
It's been how many years and I'm still mad?
Mm-hmm. I still haven't gotten over it.
So, I mean, a little sidebar that I was discussing like fan entitlement with someone, and we were just kind of talking about like how like what if it's bad and whatnot, and it's kind of like a case by case scenario. And I'm like, I feel like Mass Effect is a thing where it's okay for the fans to be mad, because that was like years of putting into these games and like being promised all this shit just for them to be like, nah, 3 endings.
So
yeah, here's the kicker. Mass Effect 1 released on November 20th, 2007. Well, let's go to Mass Effect 3 released on March 6th, 2012. So for 5 years, you devoted yourself to a series just to be pooped on.
And it's not like just like like you read a book, you don't pay that much for a book, but we're paying $60+ for 3 games, like each one being about $60. That's putting a decent amount of money into it just to ask for what we were told we were going to get.
Man.
But no sparkly hats. That's what we fucking get for an ending.
Red, green, and blue. Sparkly hats.
Yep.
Turds with circuits.
So, like, even after the fucking, that big old patch that they pushed, how the fuck big was it? Was it like 4 gigs or 14 or something? It was huge.
Let's see what size it was, man.
Billion.
Ending. What did they call that ending? They called the DLC something.
Well, not even the DLC, just the patch that they released, I think, a month or 2 after, or some shit.
Oh, they just called it extended cut.
Yeah. Either way, even after that big ass patch that, like, quote unquote fixed the ending, it was still dumb.
2 gigs.
Ending. They wrote themselves in a corner, didn't know what to do, and they made a bullshit ending.
Like, it was better in the sense that it at least gave you some sort of view into the post credits. Like, what did all of that accomplish? So, like, they gave you some view into that with their little slideshow PowerPoint, but it still wasn't much, because very little still changed on that slideshow anyway. Like, it kind of focused on the major decisions you made, but still didn't really do a whole lot.
The only correct choice was to destroy the Reapers.
Like, when they released that patch, they actually added in a 4th ending.
Is that the walk away or whatever? Yeah,
and that's the only one I like. Like, I still don't like the situation, because the fucking, what'd they call it? The Crucible?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the worst fucking plot point, and there was no writing yourself out of that.
Yeah.
But, working with what we had, the walk away ending is the only good one, because that's the only one where you feel like you made a choice.
Yeah. Did they ever actually explain what the fuck the Crucible was gonna do?
No!
That bothered me. Because, like, I didn't realize, then after the game, I'm like, wait, what the fuck was the point of the Crucible?
The green ending was the Crucible, but they never tell you that until after the fact, so it's like, alright, thanks.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow, that's retarded. I never even knew that, but that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's the Crucible's designed to whatever. Or maybe, actually, no, I don't know now.
Yeah. It's
so, like, you got...
Because if you pick one type... Yeah, who the fuck designed the Crucible? You go on one side, it destroys everything. You go on the other side, it does something else. And
it controls. Like, your options were control, destroy, synthesis. Control was just every...
Control Reapers.
It wasn't even just the Reapers, it was every, like, every cybernetic... Synthetic, yeah. Every synthetic life form you now control. So that includes the Geth. I want to say they even made some sort of mention that this affects people with synthetic implants. So, like...
Shepard's watching you masturbate.
Well, I mean...
Into it.
had Shepard not like vaporized him or herself in order to do all of that, even though I think there was some extra shit where Shepard lives, whatever. Like Shepard was part of that. Then there was Destroy, which was you destroy literally all synthetics. Again, they did make mention that this includes people with heavy synthetic implants. And then there was Synthesis, which just makes everybody some biosynthetic
turds with circuits,
sparkly hat, glowy eyes.
Turds with circuits.
It was stupid.
And didn't all the endings, apart from just the walkaway ending, obviously, that the mass relays blew up?
Yes,
Yeah.
which the extended cut... Well, okay, before I get to the extended cut, I have such a fucking problem with the mass relay destruction thing.
Because it's been established that if a mass relay is destroyed, it basically takes out the entire galaxy it resides in.
Yeah.
Well, they can. I mean, obviously they made the fucking space magic crucible so they can hand wave that away any way they want. The part that really pisses me off about the whole mass relays getting destroyed thing is like the Star Child shit with, what was it, Buzz Aldrin?
Yeah, something like that. It's one of those buzzes.
Yeah, so the Star Child shit, they make this weird implication that like suddenly with the mass relays gone, all of the races of the galaxy are now separate again? That doesn't work.
Stranded where they were.
I don't know. They were making some really weird implication, and that's kind of how I was reading into that. And that doesn't make any fucking sense to me because, you know, all the races are just kind of everywhere at this point.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like, it seems like they should just be kind of stranded in their solar systems. But, like, as long as they were there, like, it's not like just suddenly it puts, like, the Krogans back where they're supposed to be.
I don't know. That was fucking stupid. But, yeah, then the extended cut retconned that so that the mass relays weren't destroyed, but then that makes the Star Child shit even weirder because they left it in completely unchanged. So now it's again acting like everybody is stranded and there's no communication with anybody else in the galaxy. So what the fuck? That's just sloppy.
Yeah. Seemed like after, so much we were building to something a little better.
Well, and like, people try to defend that ending with, oh, well, you made so many decisions, it makes it completely impossible to write some satisfying conclusion to any of that. And it's like, no, it really doesn't.
Well,
and honestly, plenty of older RPGs have still handled like the free choice system just fine with more limited technology than this. Like, here's how you do it. It's just every decision you make is a flag. Not every single one of these flags ends up getting used, but every decision is a flag. You come to a new scene and you run a few flag checks. And based on those flag checks, certain things about that scene change. Like, oh, if you saved this character in the first game and their flag is checked, well, now they're in this scene. They don't even have to fucking talk. They could just be in the damn background. Like, it doesn't have to be these huge things for every single little change. It's just,
It's that, but also, like, I mean, they were promising, like, that these endings were going to be so different from each other, like, depending on how you played your game. And then they just kind of felt lied to.
It's like, oh, is Ashley alive? Okay, if she's not, then she's not in this scene when it happens. And maybe someone says this different dialogue instead of this other dialogue. Or it's it's really not that fucking difficult. And the amount of time they well, no, actually, they didn't have the ability to do this with the amount of time they had, because they crammed development in for it into, like, what was it, a year, 2 years, less than that,
something like that. Yeah.
Like, I remember hearing, you know, their planned release date, and then I was like, oh no, that's not. That's too soon. What are you?
I found that copy pasta I wanted to read. It sums up everyone's feelings.
It better be the one.
Don't worry, it probably is, but it needs to be said again. Even though we're 13 years later after the fact, this post still holds true.
Still needs to be said because I'm still mad.
Yep, here we go. I'm still mad.
Yes.
I will always be mad. On my deathbed, I will still be mad. When the seas heat up, the world descends into global catastrophe, I will still be fucking mad. In the afterlife, when I get to the gates of heaven, St. Peter and his angels will ask me, are you still mad about Mass Effect 3? And my answer will be, yes. When the race of man is no more and the ruins of man's cities have crumbled into dust, I will still be mad. Ancient alien civilizations will find the smoldering volcanic corpse of the planet Earth and decode the secrets of our ancient internet. And they will find this post, and so my eternal anger will be brought forth into the far-flung reaches of space. When the last tiny flash of heat in the universe dies and all descends into entropy, my hatred will remain. I'm still so fucking mad I took the time to write this stupid fucking post. And it still doesn't make me feel even the slightest bit less mad. I fucking hate you, BioWare.
What did my gravestone?
Hey, how do we get in touch with NASA? Let's get a new golden disc made and get that printed on it.
Oh my god, yes.
Launch that shit. Launch that shit and have every single fucking Mass Effect player on Earth digitally sign it. Get that shit out there, because even the aliens need to know.
I posted the link in the Discord, but send that picture with it.
I'm so fucking mad still.
Mm-hmm.
I love how we went from Last of Us to Mass Effect 3.
I had a feeling when I brought up Mass Effect that this was going to derail everything.
I mean, derail is the definition of this podcast, so it's fine. Oh god, what a fucking shit show. Why? Still so mad. Thank you, Andy. Thank you for reminding me to be mad.
We just, it's like almost an annual thing that we have to bring this up and talk about the same shit that pissed us off about this stupid fucking game.
And because I'm just so mad, I have to say this again because it is the epitome of why I'm so fucking. The goddamn Rachni Queen.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, the fucking Rachni Queen. That is the epitome of what makes Mass Effect 3 so shit. Is that you get to the payoff for the Rachni Queen decision that you made, and it doesn't fucking matter. You get the same mission regardless. Because, if you let her live, then, okay, the Reapers found her and turned her into a Reaper Rachni. Like, some Rachni husk or whatever.
It's still the same fucking thing.
And if you killed her, then they built a new one! They literally build a new one! What the fuck? What the fuck, man?
Yeah, they just didn't care.
I cared. I cared, god damn it.
So you guys remember Mass Effect Andromeda?
Oh boy.
I'm so glad I never played it.
I want my money back.
I don't know why you guys were dumb enough to play it.
I had to
Because
know.
I had to know.
I didn't. I was like, you know what? I don't need to. After Mass Effect 3, I really just do not care.
I had disposable income, and curiosity got the better of. And I can't say I'm mad for buying it, and I can't say I'm mad for playing it, because now I know, now I'm informed, now I can bitch without anybody being like, oh, you just didn't play it, man. No, I didn't go into this wanting to hate it. I didn't go into this ready to hate it. I went into this just hoping that maybe, just maybe, a nice little refresh. Maybe I'll be surprised. Maybe this is good. No, nope. Not even the gameplay was good. It was a buggy fucking mess, and that's like, it's up against the first game. Which, as much as I love the first game was a buggy fucking mess. This was worse. This was fucking worse. And here's my big problem with Andromeda. Is that your you don't even get decisions. You're given a de facto character. Like, it's not like Shepard where, you can decide if he's gonna be good boy or bad boy. This is Ryder. Ryder is just who Ryder is. Personality is set, all of that. Instead of, Paragon Renegade responses, your responses are based off of emotion, which, a little bit in theory sounds like it can be okay. So, you've got your logical approach, you've got your emotional approach, you've got your angry approach, you've got your sarcastic approach. But honestly, 90% of the responses come off as sarcastic and like Nathan Drake knockoff, which that's what the male writer is anyway. A very, very obvious and bad Nathan Drake knockoff. Like, he looks like Netflix version Nathan Drake. He talks like he wants to be Nathan Drake. It's just really bad. But yeah, your responses all come off as sarcastic anyway. It's an even worse example of, like, how the dialogue wheel says one thing, but then the character says something completely different. It's an even worse example of that. And you try to answer with something that sounds perfectly reasonable from the dialogue wheel, and then he says something completely fucking different, and it just ends up pissing everybody off, and it's like, well, what the fuck? That's not what I wanted. Now everybody's just mad at me for no reason. PB's fucking terrible. What a garbage character. And then they have your fucking de facto Krogan, who, he's fine, but he's not Rex, and he's not even Grunt. He's just there.
I posted what will be the new thumbnail for this podcast, I've decided.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it works. And then just add the text expectation subverted.
Got it.
Nailed it. Ugh. Like, and then the fucking... Oh, what the hell did they call him, Roger? Like, their Andromeda's version of... Like, what they wanted to be their version of the Spectres, basically.
Pathfinders.
Yeah. Pathfinder... Holy crap, what a garbage concept. Like... So... I don't know how much you actually know about what the plot of Andromeda is, Andy, but...
You've explained it to me.
Yeah. TLDR, everybody, well, not everybody, but a bunch of people jump ship to Andromeda, and they have their arcs, and each arc is led by a Pathfinder. And the Pathfinder is what new BioWare came up with after completely misunderstanding what the Spectres were.
Ugh.
Because it's like they wanted to come up with their own version of Spectre. Also, they clearly don't understand what Spectres are, because like the handful of times they like make any references to the first game, they basically treat Shepard like he or she was some sort of like mystical super god or some shit. Like, no, Spectres weren't superpowered. Shepard was not superpowered. Shepard was just good at their fucking job.
They were just special agents.
Yeah, they were basically they were shadow ops. And
they got special clearances to do things that like Army and whatnot couldn't do.
And Shepard was basically just Gordon Freeman'd into it. Right person in the wrong place at the wrong time. Or right person at the right place at the wrong time. Is that how that quote went?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Let's go with that.
That's all Shepard was. But like Andromeda, the handful of times they reference that, they have some sort of weird reverence to them. And like that misunderstanding of what Spectres were kind of bleeds into the Pathfinders, because now like all a Pathfinder is they're just the person who leads that particular arc. Like the arcs being the big super ships that are carrying, you know, a bunch of people. And if I recall correctly, they were all kind of sectioned off on race for the most part.
Yeah, each arc was one race. So you had the human arc, the Quarian arc, the Krogan arc, etc.
Yeah. So like each one had their Pathfinder. The human arc, their Pathfinder, I can't remember his name. It's voiced by Clancy Brown though. He's got 2 kids. I think it was like Flynn and Sarah are the default names for the kids, and whichever gender you play as, the other one gets relegated to in a coma for 90% of the game. But yeah, Clancy Brown, writer, dies. You become the new Pathfinder, and you get treated with this fucking weird ass reverence. Like, all Pathfinders is basically a commanding officer. But again, they just treat them like they're these weird fucking, like, mythical beings, practically. And then, there was a bit with, like, the Asari Pathfinder. Like, doesn't she die or something?
I didn't play that far. I played up. You know, this game was so unremarkable. I don't remember how far I got, but I would say at most I'd probably put about 3 hours into the main story and 20 minutes into the multiplayer, because I could probably do about 5 minutes and it would just crash my PS4 every single time, so I just gave up on it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was... Ugh.
I got farther in it than that. I remember there was some shit about, like, the Asari arc was one of the ones that was missing, and you, like, go to the Asari arc, and, like, I think their Pathfinder ends up dying or some shit, and they basically treat it like they're completely fucked, when, again, Pathfinders aren't special, they're just taking command, so just, why not fucking just move on, just pick somebody new and move on. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. The humans fucking did it because, like, you know, they pick one of the kids to be the new Pathfinder, like, no problem. And one of your party members is, like, salty with you because she was supposed to be the next in line, but then you get pulled in and just via nepotism.
I'm gonna play this. I think it pretty much sums up. We'll see if this works or not. Come on, Danny. Bring it on home.
You are not ready. Get ready.
What's the deal with your face?
After 14 months of failed inbred colonization, my face happened. My face.
Oh,
my
God.
face is the brains It's the head of our military. It's the head of Andromeda.
That's a shame.
That's why people won't trust you. Why I won't trust you. Why my face don't trust you. Why my face must purge you. Forgive me. Forgive Andromeda.
Go! Go, go, go!
Destroy! Destroy!
Thank you. I give all credit to Manslayer for that clip.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good note to end that discussion on. Andromeda sucked. My face is tired.
I want my money back.
People don't like Andromeda, and they have good reason to. It was just bad. Just bad.
Yeah.
And no, the patch that up the quality of the animations of the faces did not correct what was fundamentally wrong with the game.
No. Like, it looked like shit, and the patch made things look marginally better, but honestly, that wasn't even, like, the kicker. The real kicker was just everything else was terrible. The writing, the gameplay, just bad. Bad.
Shit.
So, what's everybody been playing lately?
I've been playing Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Tell us more, Andy.
That's pretty good. It feels like Symphony of the Night 2, but not.
I remember Quimby telling me, like, I need to play it. I don't know. I didn't play it, but I wasn't too excited by the prospect.
Same.
I kind of feel like I've gotten a little tired of, like, the the Metroidvania Castlevania games.
Well, I haven't played too many of them, honestly. I only just played Symphony of the Night for the first time, like, just a few months ago. And
Yeah, that's fair, I guess.
I mean, I like it. And Bloodstained's good, but the art direction's just kind of okay because it's like 3D, but like 2D side-scrolling stuff. And I don't like that because, like, at times it looks okay, but, like, the models are a little strange, and when you have them, like, standing there talking to each other when they're in 3D, it looks so strange because, like, like, their mouths are moving, but the model is completely frozen, and it looks so awkward. And just altogether, it's a little weird. That's why, I mean, I've always liked, sprite work and everything, so I kind of just really think Symphony of the Night looks better.
Yeah, and I mean, Symphony of the Night had some really gorgeous sprite work. From what I saw of Bloodstained, I don't know if they fixed it, because the last time I really bothered looking at it was before it even released. I think it was, like, right after they put out the demo for it. And, like, you were on the ship or whatever.
Yeah, you start on the ship.
And last I saw it then, the character models looked fine, but the backgrounds looked kind of like hot ass.
They look fine now.
Okay.
I can't, again, just being 3D, like, still not as good as I would like it to be.
Well, I mean, you can do the 2.5D, even though I fucking hate that term.
Yeah.
You can do that great. Like, fucking Beautiful Joe, just look at that.
Yeah. Well, Beautiful Joe had more of the cell shading, so it kind of that gives it a nice little style.
Yeah.
This isn't quite that. And like I said, it's not bad. It just, for me, it's more of a preference for sprites and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to 2D, I feel like that looks better overall.
Yeah, I can dig it.
Though, I don't know if I'll get around to playing the other one, Curse of the Moon, I think it is. The one that's supposed to be more like classic Castlevania.
Yeah, I heard that one was really good, and that one looked really cool, too.
I was looking it up, and yeah, it looks cool, and, like, that one looks exactly like classic Castlevania, too. So I do want to try it if I get the chance. I just don't know when.
Yeah, I want to give that one a try because I'm a little tired of like Metroidvania style Castlevanias. Like they're fine, but what ultimately bugs me about them in the end is there ends up not being much of a challenge to them. Like I know a lot of how they start, you're pretty fucking weak, and if you wander into the wrong area, you just get shit canned in like two hits. But then eventually like halfway through the game, you get so overpowered that it's just okay, go here, go here, go here, go here, touch this, it's dead, go here.
Symphony of the Night was good about that because like I never felt like until I got to the inverted castle, I never felt like I was wandering into any of the wrong areas. And then also at the same time, once you get to the inverted castle, there's one area where you can get the Vorpal blade, and that just destroys everything. Like it is so ridiculously, stupidly powerful. Or well, not just powerful, just that you can attack so fast and continue to move while attacking with it. But shit, I forgot what I was gonna say. I mean, I don't go nuts about Metroidvania style games all that much. There's very like few that I'm like really like get into. But then when I start to play them, for some reason, I just get really enthralled with it. And that's how I was with Bloodstained. Like I was like, whatever. It seems okay. And then now I'm in the middle of it. And I'm like, this is fun. Like I'm enjoying it. It does definitely like there's Symphony of the Night had its problems, and this does kind of improve on that, but then creates its own problems as well. Oh, and shit, I keep forgetting. I find it feels so weird because one of the characters is voiced by David Hayter, but he just sounds like Snake to me.
He's been doing that a lot lately, actually. What was it? It was some fucking Marvel, like it's like a phone game or some shit.
Really?
It was like I want to say it was a League of Legends knockoff with Marvel characters, and he played the Winter Soldier, and this was basically like right after the whole MGS5 incident with Snake being voiced by Kiefer Sutherland, and he was so fucking salty about that. So when he did the Winter Soldier, I listened to a couple clips of his voice work in that, and you could hear the seethe in his voice because he was just doing Snake.
He's got that one voice. Like I don't know. Like I mean, I've heard him do other things, but I don't hear him in a lot of things. At least not lately. So I mostly just hear Snake.
Well, like when he does other things, he does fine at it, but it seems like the Kiefer Sutherland thing sent him off the fucking deep end, and I've been noticing that from him lately. It seems like the voice directors are just letting him do whatever the fuck he wants because he's David Hayter, and he's got that slight clout to him.
Yeah.
And he still just, because he's bitter about it, he just decides to try and say fuck you, Kojima, so he just does his Snake voice.
It's a strange thing to do.
It really is, because I feel like it's just going to bite him in the ass at some point.
Yeah. He is a snakehead eating the head on the opposite side.
Solid Ouroboros.
Yes. Anyways.
Hehe, jokes.
Bloodstained. Pretty good. Would recommend.
I probably won't play it. I want to try the fucking classic Castlevania style one, but
I mean, I'm someone who does prefer classic Castlevania because I got the Castlevania collection and finally played through those games and I loved them. Yeah,
that's neat.
Pretty neat.
What you been playing, Roger?
I'll give you a hint.
Some more shooty games.
More shoot and scoot. And then
what do you shoot and loot?
I do shoot and loot, actually.
Oh.
You shoot
Wow.
And I can safely say that I won my first Warzone victory solo. And now I can die miserable.
Miserable and alone.
Good lord, what a sweaty experience. It's like every time you go a corner in solos, it's like a potential jump scare. Then I've been being a loser and playing my flight sim because I'm a loser. Yeah. I really haven't. I'm just kind of waiting for, there's nothing really coming up. I know I still gotta play Final Fantasy yet. I started it.
For the flight sim, is that the big 150 gig one that everyone's been talking about, or is that like your
everyone's been talking about?
I've been seeing a lot of people, mentioning how big the next one is. I don't know if it's out yet or not.
This one, the one I play is called DCS, Digital Combat Simulations, and it can be pretty. How big is it? I mean, because you can download certain planes, and
it's not the Microsoft one though.
Oh no.
Okay.
Let's see how big this hog is on my hard drive. Oh dear. Yeah, this one is. I'm sitting at 151 gigs right now on my hard drive for this.
What the fuck? I Google Microsoft Flight Sim size, and the first thing I see is an article from October 14th, 2019. Microsoft Flight Simulator's world is 2 million gigabytes in size. What?
I wonder if that, because I think that one is also going to have cloud-based stuff as well. So I wonder if that is on there. So there's no who has 2 million gigabytes.
Oh, maybe it's the 2021 that I was seeing.
Let's say the new one coming out. I would definitely believe it's 150 gigs or more, just because of how complicated this crap can be. That these flight sims, man, having a solid state hard drive to run them on is almost it's a must have at this point.
Here it is. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 PC requirements revealed. 150 gigabyte space needed at minimum.
Yeah, so basically what they're saying is you need 150 gigs just to install it, but if you want more planes, get ready to fork over some more space, baby.
That's interesting. The recommended doesn't change for the file size. I figured it would. The only thing that changes for the recommended setting is that it recommends an SSD instead of hard disk. But
yeah, what do these guys recommend? DCS, what do you recommend? Download. Let's see. What the hell is it? Okay. Blah 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 blah. Let's just go with the recommended for high graphics settings. 64-bit OS, CPU i5 or AMD Ryzen, 16 gig RAM, 32 gigabyte for heavy missions, 120 gigabytes of solid state drive, GTX 1070. Yeah. 120 gigs, and they recommend a solid state drive as well. Otherwise, you're loading shit forever.
Well, I mean, it's fucking 2020 to have a solid state anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I got 2 of them in this beast.
I don't have a solid state on my laptop, but that's because I've been lazy. And I don't even know if it has the physical space for one. Like, I want to say the model I got was basically just like a copy. It was like a lesser copy of a different model that had 2 hard drives in it, so I haven't taken it apart yet to check, but if it is in fact the same, like, what do you call it, the shell or body or whatever, then it should have space for me to put an SSD in there. Oh, when I stop being lazy, we'll find out. I don't use this thing for games too much anyway, though I want to. Yeah. No.
So that's what I've been playing. Dave?
So, in the month since we last recorded, I finished Yakuza 5. That was a pretty good time. The ending was just kind of like, what the fuck, but the whole plot of that game was kind of what the fuck. Like in that one, you're playing as 5 different characters, and 4 did this too, in which you were playing as 4 characters, but the way 4 handled the plot, it was a little bit better in that, you know, when you switch to a new character, you get kind of like a continuation of the plot, more or less where the previous character left off. Like, they still don't know each other yet. It's not like you get to a certain point and then, like, they basically physically pass the baton. It's just kind of their little segment ends, and then suddenly you're playing as a new character, and the plot continues with, you know, the events that are more relevant to them. 5 is a little bit different in that each character gets their own piece of the puzzle that, like, you don't even get a hint of the connection until basically right at the end of their segment. And then in the finale chapter, when, you know, everyone is together, and then you can, you know, switch back and forth between them for certain parts. Like, that's when everything comes together. I don't think I really liked that approach as much because it made things more confusing than they needed to be, especially with, like, how non sequitur some of the segments were. Like, there's a girl named Haruka who, slight spoilers for the entire rest of the series, but I mean, it's so fucking early on that this shit happens. Basically, she's Kiryu's adopted daughter, just because of all the events that happen in, like, the first 2 games. He basically ends up adopting her.
I'm never playing the game because I know it's going to happen.
So in 5, she goes on to be an idol.
Wait, did you hack them to release this spoiler?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yes, I did. I hacked them even though the game has been out for, like, half a decade now.
Dude, spoilers. Right. I didn't know that.
But yeah, you play as her in the 5th one, and her entire segment is her, like, climbing the ranks to become a top idol. So, like, that's connected to the entire plot, but just as you're doing it, it's just like, okay, what the fuck? What does this have to do with anything?
Everything. You just didn't get the nuance of it.
Oh, it like halfway does have something to do with everything, because the way they end up working it in is just batshit insane. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I liked that approach too much. I liked the approach 4 took a lot better. 5 had a fuckload of mini games in it. Like, that's one of the things Yakuza's famous for. But 5 had a shit ton. Like, there was snowball fights in first person that were jank as fuck, but they were hilarious. There's your typical karaoke, pool, darts, whatever. There was air hockey this time, which I didn't even discover until, like, near the end of the game. And the air hockey was fucking hilarious. Like, it was bare bones as shit. And the way you found it was you go to, like, the bathhouse, because they have a rec room there, and you can, like, you can take a bath and then play some air hockey with one of the other people at the bathhouse. And the people who go to the bathhouse are always busty, attractive women that you're playing against. And, you know, there's your basic air hockey, but then there's, like, heat strikes or whatever the hell they call them. Because you have a heat meter, and, you know, the heat meter's in the combat too, but the way it applies to the air hockey is it charges up as you hit the puck, and then once your heat meter is full, you can do a heat strike, which is basically like a technically guaranteed goal. But if you play on the harder difficulties, they have a chance of, hitting it back. And when they do, you get this absurdly tight timing button press where if you don't get it, then they score on you. So it's kind of horse shit. But if you score on them with the heat strikes, then their robe will start to come open. So if you just keep doing heat strikes, eventually their robe is almost all the way open. You just get this massive shot of their cleavage. And what's really funny is that you can speed up your heat gauge recovery by holding the L2 button, and then it slows down time and then zooms the camera in on their chest. And it's just fucking absurd.
I love that stupid shit like that.
Oh, those games are fucking wonderful.
I really need to get around to playing those.
But yeah, finished 5. Liked it for the most part. There were some really cool things in it. Some things, but overall, liked it. Moved on to 6. And 6 so far has been interesting. You wind up with a baby, and the bulk of the plot so far has been trying to figure out who the father is. And the very beginning of it is just fucking hilarious, because you end up in this small town because of a lead. Because it's the last place the baby's mother was before you ended up with the kid. And you're walking around with the baby, and your first night in this small town, you have to go get something to feed it because you didn't fucking bring anything because you're an idiot, I guess. And as you're walking around, the baby starts crying, and it just kicks in this mandatory minigame of soothing the baby. And I get some fucking Death Stranding flashbacks, except this one is even more ridiculous because it's a minigame with rules. And it took me a little while to figure out what the rules were. Basically what it ends up being is the kid will it'll make certain motions, and based on the motion, you have to do a certain thing. If it lifts its arms up, it means it wants you to lift it up and do the oopsie baby, that kind of shit. But it was just fucking ridiculous, and it stops you every 20 feet to do it. Thankfully, that minigame has since gone away, because as funny as it was really annoying. But there's only one segment where it just plagues you, and then the rest of the game so far I haven't seen it again. Then there was another segment where you're walking around with the baby, and you can actually get in fights now. And just to see what would happen, I saw some thugs wandering around oh, I'm carrying a baby. What am I going to do with this thing if I get in a fight? So I just went and initiated a fight. And Kiryu just grabs some random civilian and just here, can you hold this for a sec? And then the fight starts.
That's beautiful.
That's very trusting that this person is a baby.
But yeah, it's a good time. Mostly 6 is on the what they call the Dragon engine, which is their newest Yakuza engine. And it was the first game to use it. They used it again for Kiwami 2, which was a remake of the second game. But 6 was the first time they used it, and it shows. Because holy fuck, the frame rate is just bad. It's not as bad in the small town. Things are they're relatively smooth, but once you go back to Kamurocho and everything is bustling and shit ton of people everywhere, it is almost a little nauseating to play, so it's a little difficult. Like, game's fun otherwise, but holy shit, that frame rate makes it really tough. But, yeah, that's been fun so far. So here, I played and beat the FF7 remake. I have thoughts about that. I won't go over them this time. Well, we can wait until Andy's had a chance to play.
I do play it. I plan to play it once I'm done with like Bloodstained and everything.
Because I want to talk about it on the podcast, but out of respect.
Sorry, I had a question. Did you get on PS4?
Yeah.
How much room does it take up? Because I'm probably going to have to delete a bunch of stuff to make room for it.
Oh, fuck. I have no idea. I didn't even pay attention.
Because like every time I get a new game, I have to delete something, and I heard that Remake takes up a lot of room.
Let's look it up. To the internet.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me because it comes in 2 discs. Like,
oh shit, I didn't realize that.
It's the install disc and then the
or
the play disc.
Okay.
Yeah, so like you don't need to swap discs while you're playing. It's just you pop the first one in, run the install, and then you use the play disc from that point on. But yeah,
it's 100 gigs.
God damn. Yeah, I'm gonna have to delete a lot. I just had to delete stuff to fucking get the update for Vermintide today. Like, I didn't even think that was gonna be that much. And I don't know. I'm not sure what I'll be able to. I had to delete Spider-Man.
I never finished that.
I love that game. That was a really good game. But I got the Platinum Trophy and just never got the DLC, so I haven't gone back to it.
But yeah, FF7, I will say I did like it, but oh boy, do I have some things to say.
I saw your posts, and from what I've been hearing about it, like, I've been avoiding spoilers because I know it's a little different from the original game. But I kind of have an idea what's going on, and honestly, I'm interested because like it sounds like it sounds like an interesting idea. But I know how Square Enix tends to handle stories, so I'm expecting the worst.
Yeah, and what I will say is the differences in and of themselves aren't what get me. It's the way things are handled that bothers me a lot. But yeah, we'll give you some time to get around to that, and we can have a full discussion on it. But overall, very good.
Yeah, I mean, if I watched Donkey's review of it, and most of what he's saying, I can already tell is what the problems I'm going to have with it.
But yeah, and then last thing I've been playing is the Trials of Mana remake. Couple hours into that, but so far I've been liking it quite a bit. I will say I can see how someone wouldn't enjoy it because it feels very dated and low budget. Like, it is low budget, which is pretty much why it was even allowed to be made in the first place. But
from what I've seen, it looks pretty nice.
Well, like, it looks nice, but, you know, if you have a half-decent art direction, it's not too hard to make a solid-looking game these days.
Yeah.
It's when people go, like, way too into, like, the fucking try-to-be photorealistic crap.
Yeah.
Like, for Animu games, it's a lot easier to make a half-decent-looking game and on the cheap. But, like, it's really interesting because the battle system, like, it's largely the same in that, you know, it's real time. You've got your charge attacks, and then your basic weak attacks. You got your spells, your items. They do have the spell and item ring that's, like, synonymous with the mana games. Like, it is largely different. There's a jump button, But at the same time, it honestly doesn't feel any different than playing the original. I don't quite know how to describe it. And it's like, I guess I kind of see it as a good thing, but I could easily see how someone could see it as a bad thing. Like it's not like 1-to-1, but in 3D, but it feels like it's 1-to-1, but in 3D. Like the whole game is kind of like that.
I never played, or I've only ever played one mana game.
I thought you did play, like, I don't think you finished it, but I want to say I remember you trying Seiken Densetsu 3, like, back in the emulator days.
I never really got too far into that one. The only one I've played and beaten is Secret of Mana.
Oh, God, talk about a game that didn't age well.
Yeah, I remember because I got it when I played and beat it. It was on the Wii Virtual Console, and even then, I was like, "This game's not the best." I mean, I enjoyed it, but I could see a lot of problems with it.
Yeah, when I played it on the Mana Collection not that long ago, like I'd played and beaten it way the fuck back when I was a wee youngin', and really liked it. But you know, playing it now, just holy crap, the jank in the game. Apparently, I just found out about this the other day. Apparently, that was meant to be part, or like one of the first projects on that Nintendo Sony collab console that never ended up happening and became the PS1. They were building it for that, so they had like all of these big ambitions for it. But then mid-development, like after they had it like 80% of the way done or something like that, the deal with Sony and Nintendo fell through. But the Square Enix, or it was just Square at the time, but the Square executives were like, well, we put all this work into this project, so we're going to make it happen anyway. So they forced the team to finish it. But the problem was that so much had to be scrapped that they had to literally start almost entirely from scratch anyway. And then so much of what they wanted to put in it originally got canned because they couldn't fit it on the new, well, not new, but the old Super Nintendo hardware. So that honestly explains a lot about that game.
Yeah, that makes sense now.
Because, yeah, playing it nowadays, it feels like it was a really rushed, half put together mess.
Yeah, a little bit.
But yeah, the Trials of Mana remake has been pretty good. I do recommend it. I think it's only like $40, I think.
Is that on Switch?
It's on Switch, PS4, and Steam.
Oh,
I got it on Switch.
I'd probably get it on Switch if I did.
The Switch performance is a little weak on it. There are a couple parts where like loading is faster than the PS4 version, but there's a couple points where like cutscenes happen and like the very beginning and or the very end of the cutscene, you'll see it just like the frame rate fucking chokes on itself, and there'll be like one or two just like basically flipping between a PowerPoint. It's not horrible because it's only like the very beginning and maybe the very end of a cutscene, and it's a budget title anyway, so you can just kind of write it off. But that happens on the Switch version. It's not great, but it's not so distracting that it ruins everything. But otherwise, it handles it pretty well. I've mostly been playing it in handheld mode just so I could, also watch TV or whatever at the same time. And I will say, I think getting it on the Switch was the right decision. I don't think I really would have wanted to be completely tethered to like this being the one thing I'm doing. Like if I was just only ever allowed to play this on my PC or on the TV, I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much, if that makes sense.
I mostly just wanted it on Switch because I don't have room on my PS4 for much.
Yeah, I can't imagine it would take up too much space anyway, but
still,
yeah, it's a very like portable friendly game, I would say. So
yeah,
despite the problems with the Switch version, I would still recommend the Switch version over the other ones. Because they're really not going to get that much in the way.
Yeah.
The English voice acting is something.
I can't say I'm surprised with a game like that.
It's like early PS2 game levels of voice acting, and it's really funny because the party I'm doing is the same party I did the first time in the original game. Hawkeye, Rise, forget, and Angela. Angela is the purple-haired girl, like the magician one with the like skimpy red swimsuit-looking outfit. She talks like a fucking Valley girl, and it's kind of great. It's really terrible, but kind of great.
It sounds irritating.
Hawkeye, you can tell his voice actor is trying because, you know, he'll do like these weird little like character quirk moments. Was it if he's trying to like repeat something that he's trying to act like something else, say something that someone else would say, he'll put like weird sarcastic enunciations on it. They sound really bad, but you can tell his voice actor's like trying to inject some life into this, so like you can't hate him for it. The fucking cat, like his cat friend, the voice actor for that guy is trying to sound like, I swear to God, Gilbert Godfrey from Aladdin.
Very strange.
Except he's a cat, so he like keeps making like meow puns. It's really fucking weird.
It's a little horrifying, actually.
Yeah, there's just all sorts of weird shit like that, which I switched it to Japanese just to like give my ears a break, but I almost feel guilty about it. Like I have to go back to the English just to see what other weird shit like that pops up. But if you put Charlotte in your party, then Jesus fucking Christ, just play it in Japanese, because they did the most infuriating thing with her. She's the little girl looking one.
Oh, and, yeah.
I forget what her actual age is. I think someone said she's like in her teens. And they kind of excuse this by saying like, because she's just short and she's an elf, she looks younger than she actually is. But because she looks like a child, everyone coddles her, so she keeps acting like one. But like what they did with that was she talks like a fucking baby. And in English, it's just infuriating.
I was hearing that. I saw V talking about that.
So yeah, like, the English is really bad, but almost endearing, unless you have Charlotte in your party. If Charlotte's in your party, then just fucking play it in Japanese. Otherwise, you will want to stick knives in your ears. And then, last but not least, I tried to play more of the Iceborne update, finally, and I don't think I'm going to get any of that content done within the time it's available, because I got fucking pissed off at Raging Brachydios. He's one of the new monsters, and I tried to fight him and just got so fucking frustrated by it. I got filtered. I ain't even gonna lie about that. I got fucking filtered, and I got mad, and I'm just like, fuck this.
Oh boy.
There went my motivation. I'm sure I'll try and get back and fight him later. I just don't even care enough to try and do the rest of the event stuff right now. There's not enough time left in it anyway. Yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Cool.
Yeah.
Help me!
No, please God. Why would you do this?
Holly!
I had to know. And now everyone will know.
Oh, I thought it was Iguana, but you saved me! I'm Charlotte. I'm a famous beauty from Wendell.
Danger is here. Go home. Okay?
But I grew up with no parents, but there was one priest in Wendell that was always nice to me. Heath was kind and helpful.
For that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's
very-
how bad that is.
God,
I had to know.
you didn't. You really didn't.
That's a good note to end on, Dave.
I agree.
Oh, then let's
Die.
have another round of the video game.
What was this one again? I forget.
So I'll name something unless someone else has something, but I do have one in mind.
I have one in mind.
Alright, I'll let you go.
Alright.
I'll just keep this one in the back burner then.
Name 5 games where you can pet the dog.
God damn it. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yes.
Oh, I should know this one, because this was actually one of the ones that we did. And I know Harvest Moon came up. That one was actually kind of a trap, because if I recall correctly, most of those games you can't pet the dog. Oh.
Fuck, I mostly just remember Red Dead because I played it kind of recently.
Stardew Valley? Can you pet dogs in Stardew Valley?
I believe you can, yes, because you can get a dog.
Because yeah, like that was the kicker for when someone said Harvest Moon was like they said 64, but you can't actually pet them in 64. You can just pick them up. But I haven't played enough
Yes, Stardew Valley, you can pet the dog.
Okay.
Can you in Breath of the Wild?
I didn't even remember that game having dogs.
Yeah, there were some dogs like when you'd go to like little settlements and stuff wandering around, but I can't remember if you could pet them or not.
Pretty much every stable had one of those dogs there.
Nintendogs.
God damn it.
Yeah.
That's like a real literal one too.
Breath of the Wild, you cannot pet the dog.
Damn it.
You can only feed it.
What else
Oh, yeah,
had a
that's
dog?
right.
What else had a dog? Oh,
Does
MGS5.
Yes.
Ha!
One more.
does Twilight Princess count? Because you are the dog?
Are you petting yourself?
Well,
Can you pet yourself?
I'm sure Midna pets him.
That's not you now, is it?
Damn it.
Which one of the Fables had a dog?
Probably the second one. I don't know. I never really played any of them.
Oh, Roger, did you play any of the Fables?
No.
Oh.
What about Pokemon games that had like that little thing where you could pet your Pokemon. I'm pretty sure there was dog Pokemon in that game.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Growlithe, Houndoom.
Yeah.
There you go.
I forget which one was it? Was it Sun and Moon that had that?
I thought it was the one before Sun.
It might have been. Yeah, that sounds about right.
So
X and Y.
Pokemon Ami, I think it was called.
Yeah. I think they kept it though for Sun and Moon or something. I don't know. I think because I remember being in 2 games, but yeah.
Introduced in Pokemon X and Y.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess Pokemon X and Y.
There we go. 5 games. Pet your dog today.
We did it.
We did it. Now we can all leave.
Yep.
Cool. I'm out of here.
Later.
Later, Nugs.
Uh-oh. 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 Over. Roger, uh-oh. Copy, uh-oh. Job for Dave, we have uh-oh.